We are not in Kansas or Michigan anymore. We are in Ontario, Canada. You can see by the sign here, Robertson Cliffs and King Mountain. So we are here. And we're going to take this route, the viewpoints, then we're going to come all the way up to here. Because this King Mountain is a mountain for the ham radio game, Summits on the Air. And I'm the only one that's done it. I've done it 2 years in a row. I'm going to make it a third. So it's about a mile to here, another 2.5 miles to here. So 3.5 each way. And then we'll come back probably this way on the way back. So, of course I have Argo here, of course. The truck is there. And he's already had to pee on 3 spots, so it's gonna be, you're gonna run out, dog. So, a lot of leaves are on the ground. There's still plenty of color. But from Robertson Cliffs, it's a pretty darn good view. And then from King Mountain, it's a pretty decent view too. The cliffs, though, is the better view, I think, of the two. So, heading that way, largely for the view. And Argo is dropping weight, so the second. The yellow marker, that's how we're going to come back. White marker is the way we're going. They give you plenty of signage. To let you know where you're going. So, I guess I'll turn this around. And I wanted to get out here. And if it makes any sense, kind of want to prove to myself I can still do hard things. I started having AFib almost exactly a year ago, and yeah, should get out of my head. So I know I'll be self-limiting a bit here as far as effort goes, but that's fine because there's plenty of occasion to stop and look around. Right, dog? He just wants to go. I feel like I'm not in the same shape I was, but I don't know if that's true or not, if I'm just feeling that way because I'm in my head. So I was on a medication to limit my heart rate, because when I was in AFib it could go really fast, and after 6 weeks of no AFib after my surgery, they took me off of it. Ooh. And then also, since my surgery, my heart is beating faster for a given effort than it was before. Ooh. It's pretty and foggy, which is to be expected. So right now I'm doing a heart rate that I've not had outside of AFib in like a year. So anyway, there's more uphill. I'll make you listen to me breathe. I'll bring you back at the first overlook, whichever one that ends up being. Here we are. Argo grabbing a drink from a puddle. This is the first overlook. The second one's better, I think. But right down there, maybe you can see, is the road we came in on. So we kind of have to backtrack a bit back into the woods and go up, and we pop out up there. That's probably where I'll actually set up and get a shot with Argo and I. But a lot of leaves on the ground, but still plenty of color to be had here. It's pretty nice. Okay. So he loves the view. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'll get myself in here with it. I realized about a half mile after we left the truck, I forgot my sunglasses, so I'm hoping it stays cloudy. My eyes are very sensitive to light, so if it gets sunny, I'll have a headache. But that's just how it's going to be. So. All right, what do you think of that sign? Warning cliffs. Risk of falling. Stay on a marked trail. But where is the marked trail? Thankfully, this is kind of grippy rock, despite it being wet. Here we are. So actually the other one may have been better just because you're not in the clouds so much. But okay. I can't see the screen. But hopefully you can see us. Come on, Argo. And the cloudy view. Oh, someone's garbage down there. Guess it's not just an American thing. But, okay, there is one more just over there. I think this has the better view. Normally it was not full of clouds. So, hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to take this pack off, get some water, because we're going to check out the next one, and then we're going to kind of bomb downhill after that, down in the valley. So, yeah, up in the clouds. Takes me back to Oregon. We'll see you. Well, for you it'll be almost instantly. For me it's going to be a little bit, but we'll see you. Well, here is the third overlook. Right here. So it's starting to rain just a bit. So I think I will get a picture of Argo out here on this rock. We'll keep going. Ooh, there's a squirrel over there. But the trail goes that way. We kind of go around that peak down into the valley, and that's what I'll bring you back. Right, Argo? We're going that way. And here's another sign. You can see people have worn it off. So we're heading this way, and then poof, off the map. So here we go. Pretty much steady downhill for that 0.8 kilometers, which always kind of sucks to lose elevation you fought for, you know? Just knowing you're going to have to gain more back. But as they say, it is what it is. So we'll go through this with the wet leaves and the wet ground, and the mud and the rocks. You really have to mind your footing. So I'm gonna put this away. Woo! Yeah. I focus on that so I don't end up with a muddy butt or worse. Whoa! Yeah, okay. Let's go, dog. Ooh, that's new. Since I was here a year ago. This tree you see cut right here. All right. So this sign doesn't have King Mountain on it. So now we are here. Remember, we started here and we came, saw the 3 lookouts. Now we're here. Now we're gonna come off that map. Okay. Follow the white markers. So, and there's a little, we've been walking next to that creek and it joins in with another. So I don't know which one is Taylor Creek, but this up here becomes Taylor Creek. And depending on how I feel when we go back, because we're going to come back the same way, but we're going to go left over there. Depending how I feel, there is, I think, at least one little waterfall over there we might check out. So this this next section here is very wet, as you can see. The trail's over there. I think what we're gonna do is the hop. There we go. And I've only ever seen 2 people ever at King Mountain. I've never encountered anyone on this trail. I was just already up there on King Mountain when these 2 guys showed up there. So this next section here, if you hear the squishy, is pretty, I'm going to use the word brutal, but it's not as bad as that might sound, but it is pretty rustic, there we go, and wet. So I discourages a lot of people from going this way. So here is that creek, and up here let's see, is the main creek, I think, which is Taylor Creek proper. We have to cross. A little deep there. Could probably cross on those logs, but they look slippery. I'm going to disconnect Argo here. So I think I'm gonna try a step right there and grab that tree. Yep, just like that. Come on, Argo. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Nice. Good boy, Argo. Okay. And that doesn't look so great there. So I think we picked the best spot. So we follow this creek here for a while, then we end up going up over a rock pile. It's a really old bridge. I'll show you. If you can see the white marker, the trail is kind of a choose your own adventure through here. It's kind of cool, that tree growing off the rock. It's a balsam fir. So I took him back off because it was so rocky. Ooh. It was more dangerous to have him clipped. Argo. So here, wow, is that old bridge over Taylor Creek. Bridge closed, no trespassing. Who in their right mind would step out on that? I don't know how well it shows up. It looks considerably worse than it did a year ago. I bet in another year or two it's just going to be in two pieces. That is, yeah, rough. Whoop, whoop. Okay. So I guess a little word about footwear. I wear these pretty big boots from hiking in the mountains so much and hunting. Ankle support. I've not rolled my ankles once in these boots. But in these conditions, I think having boots like this is pretty vital because it's so slippery. I don't know how many times I've slipped and caught myself just today, and it'd be really easy to roll an ankle and mess yourself up. So the boots are heavy, they are heavy, but I'm 6'4", 241 pounds, so it's not like I'm pinching any light weight here. Can you see my breath? I think I can see steam coming off me. So this is like a rock chute here. And then we get down to a more proper trail. But these rocks are covered in moss and wet leaves. Like, so careful footing is very important. If you really bang up your leg, your knee, or something, and you can't walk out of here, that's rough. It'd be a pain. Of course, it's a pain anyway, no matter where you get hurt, right? But this is a rugged little spot down here. I'm loud if you can hear me over the water. There's a lot of water coming through. Maybe you can see the little waterfall there. There's a squirrel giving Argo heck. Hey, don't eat grass, I have food for you. All right, I'm gonna put him back on the leash again. And I'll bring you back. I don't know when. We'll see. I might bring you back. You can hear me breathe hard on the steepest section. Maybe. Anyway. Told you I'd bring you back for the steep part. So this thing where all I can do is breathe. is not something I've been able to accomplish for about a year, because that medication, oh, squirrel's yelling at Argo, would limit my max heart rate. So we even get into like 130, maybe 135 would be hard. But that was never at the edge of my abilities, you know? It's hard to explain. But now that I'm not taking it, and now I'm in the upper 150s, I feel like I'm doing something. So, it's a good feeling. Might sound weird, but it's a good feeling. So I'm almost to the top of this steep section. I'll probably bring you back either when we get to the 2-track, or there's a sign, because we end up going left on that 2-track. So, here, levels off for just a bit. Good to feel alive. Good to feel alive. Even though it looks spooky. Really spooky. Well, you can see, still in the clouds. I'm still breathing hard. So, you'll see up here, straight out a lookout. And you'll also see the white marker. So we're here. You can ignore a lot of this. Maybe that's in the winter, but this time of year there's nothing there. But we're here, 1.4 kilometers up to there. I'm feeling pretty fatigued, more so than I remember in the past, but I'm just trying to...
This is the VA3WMC Wind and Solar Power Repeater, CTCSS, tone 100 Hertz, 11:38 a.m.
Oh, that saves me from checking the time. I told people I'd be up there around noon. It's like some pretty accurate. But getting back to feeling fatigued, like I'm just trying to be, I guess, nice to myself, because I did have heart surgery just over a month ago, so there's a healing time. So trying to give myself, I guess, some grace there. Normally I'm pretty hard on myself, well, in all ways, but especially to like physical efforts. But this last year of AFib and now recovery from heart surgery has, I guess, taught me some lessons there. Oh, got some leaves falling. That you don't always have to go full out, you know? It's okay to just do what you can do that day. And that's perfectly fine. That is spooky. This reminds me of going up a mountain in Oregon called Bunker Hill. I think I'll put a photo in here on Halloween Day. And it had burned previously, so all the trees were just black and dead. And it was foggy like this. It was really spooky. I like it, but I also like to have the view at the top. So, okay. I've been playing it's gotta be right over this hill thing for a while. And now finally I was right. Right over this hill. So here, that's where I'll do the activation. I might actually, last time I sat on the steps of the Donaker there, because it was raining so hard. I might do it again. But there's not going to be any view. But I promised you I'd come over here, so I'm going to do it. This is the warming hut. Because again, in the winter, it's groomed cross-country ski trails. And then this snowshoe trail is a warming hut. I'm going to avoid that slick rock. Same with that sketchy looking ladder. I'm gonna come over here. And so, right here, remember I mentioned Taylor Creek? I think that's the reason why that creek is named. Stephen Taylor. Argo, come on. So, if it wasn't cloudy, you'd see Lake Superior over there in the distance. But we get the muted view as we're in the clouds. Yep. What do you think, dog? So I'm gonna put out my little pad, have a squat, have a bite. And do some radio. I'll probably bring you back after. I know these hiking videos don't do nearly as well as the ship videos. And if I throw in half an hour of me working the radio, it's gonna be even worse. So I'll probably bring you back, may put up a map of the contacts I made. So I'm hoping that's just water coming off the trees. Sounds like it. Okay, I'll bring you back afterwards. What is this? Well, thank you to my channel members. Argo gets treats. The little Whimsy's little alligator. It's like a denta stick kind of thing. So he gets to have his treat. I'm gonna have my sit down and have my sandwich. Yep, he's not spoiled. He's not spoiled at all. Just well loved. All right, all done. Sure is spooky that way. Ready, Argo? Did the the radio thing, and also had lunch. Conditions were not great. I did get 2 locally with this little radio you see on my shoulder. And then I think I got 6 more. I'll have to look at my sheet again on HF. Conditions, I guess, were not great, and there's a New York radio party going on called the QSO party. So it was it was hard to find a spot to broadcast. which might sound weird, but there's only certain ranges of frequencies you can use. So, but I did get it, and I got Maine, North Carolina, New Hampshire, and the longest one was Spain. That is definitely the longest. So hopped across the Atlantic with my little radio and a piece of wire. So that's pretty good. But this battery is about toast, so I'm gonna quit yammering. Back here to that, I guess, loop trail. All right, so we're back here from King Mountain Lookout. And we came down that way from the cliffs. So we're going to take this way back to the car, the truck. So it's been a bit. Of course, it's rough going through there. I did end up in that really rocky section, ended up falling, if you can see. Right there. I was walking, and a rock I put all my weight on rolled on me, and there we go. So I see someone coming. I'm going to quit talking. All right. I didn't want to record those ladies. So there's 4 of them going the other way. Now that we're back on the loop, definitely expect to run into more people. This can be very soggy. So we'll see how this goes. It's been a soggy day though. So. All right, there it is. Aren't you impressed? I'm gonna try to land right over there. Here we go. There we go. So up here is the falls. I've actually not stopped at these falls since I came here the first time with my ex. Oh. It's definitely the first time bringing you all with me. There they are. Well, it's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna take some pictures and stuff. I'll bring it back. What a beautiful day. So technically, that trail is listed as a side trail, which means you would think you'd have to go back to the right to get back to the loop trail. But I know from hiking this before, the trail just goes over there. So, like, this is like a really obvious trail. because I know it just goes over there. Just right over there. So let's see what we get. Where I lived in Oregon, there was nothing like this. Over in the valley, the Willamette Valley, it'd be more like this. But where I lived on the east side of the Cascade Range, you'd have just little pockets of trees like aspens or something, you know, not like whole forests, you know, of just colors. And think we're past peak. Like, it was better maybe like a week ago. So yep, it's a beautiful area. That is for sure. My dad said that too, and his girlfriend when they were here. It's a really beautiful area. So you can see why I like it here. We do have to cross. Maybe we'll do it right up here. And then try to get in right over there. I think so. Okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh. There we are. Argo, come here. So now this is that trail. If we would have gone back, there's a sign. So less than a mile back to the truck. It's almost like a little tunnel. Those trees bending over the trail. Oh, ooh. A lot of slippery rocks. I see cars down there, which can only mean one thing. We're pretty much back. So I just passed another group. They were heading up on the loop towards the waterfalls. And I guess we'll see how many cars are here. We were the first one this morning. I think that's some point of pride, you know. But feeling pretty tired. I'm not upset to see the parking lot. Right here is where we went left, and I said we'd come back that way. Just down here is the parking lot. Just one last slippery, treacherous section to go. I've only fallen once. Actually, no, I did fall twice, but the one time I caught myself pretty good, so I didn't like get hurt or anything. I was ready for it. The time where I skinned up my wrist there, that was a complete surprise. So I put my weight on a rock, and then that whole rock rolled out from underneath me. So, and my other leg was still in the air. So yeah, that was not what you hope for. What nice colors. Oh. Truly. I got some food for him, food for me. I'm gonna stop at the grocery store over here and grab a whole whack, that's a technical term, a whole whack of coffee crisps. Those are a decidedly Canadian delicacy. There we are. So we started here, went this way, went up to here, came back, and now we're back. That's the whole route. And over there's the truck. And right here's the best boy. So thanks for joining myself and Argo. I guess if this does well, huh? Maybe we'll have more hiking videos soon. See you later.